You're awake. Very good to see you. I know it can be very daunting to wake up in a new place. So, let me explain a bit of what happened. We found you in some sort of abandoned hospital. I'm not exactly sure what it would have been, but it was a bit of an operating table, and I guess it was just recently defunct because the light still worked. It seems a bit odd to me, but the room was basically empty, and you had all of your bones broken. And they were very meticulous about it as well. I'm not sure why this happened, but we did see a heart drawn in blood next to you, which I assume was your blood. So that was where we found you, I guess. There was no trace of another person, but we're having an officer investigate the scene, and some forensic scientists go on it, so if they left any DNA behind, we'll be able to find them. Regardless, the only reason we did find you was because the alarm went off. The trespassing alarm went off for the building that you were in. So, if that hadn't happened, you might be dead now. Very, very lucky that we found you. Our paramedics didn't get there until a bit later, but we got there as fast as we possibly could. Right. I probably should introduce myself. Enough about the gruesome scene that you were a part of. That can't be something that you want to hear about too much. I think it's best to just move on from that. So, I am a nurse here at this doctor. My mind must be slipping. My apologies. I am a nurse here at this hospital, and I am here to tend to your needs. You can't speak or move or anything like that because they had to do quite a lot of surgery and quite a lot of things to make sure that you survived. But I have been assigned to your case to tend to your every need. So here we are. I hope that I can make you feel at least a little bit more comfortable. I know it can't be the most comfortable thing with all those splints and bandages and stuff like that, but hopefully I can help at least a little. So, we had to do emergency surgery on your entire body. This includes not only your bones on your arms and your legs, but also your skull, which means that it may be a bit foggy in your brain for a little while. But things should be clearing up as you start taking medication and stuff like that. we have you on some very strong medications, so hopefully those can work pretty well. I know surgery is not something that the body takes to very well, believe me. But if you do need more medication, just feel free. Well, I guess you can't ask, can you? I'll check in with you periodically to see if you need more medication. And I guess we can establish a blink system where if you need something, you can blink a few times and I'll ask until we figure it out. Until then, I do have to go through my traditional procedures, which is changing your IV bag and checking your vitals and making sure that everything is set up and proper. So let me start with the IV bag. You have been in here quite a while already, so it's probably best that I focus on the IV bag so that your body gets the amount of water that it needs, considering that you can't drink or anything. So let me get this right. Alright, it should be hung back on the hook, so that seems to be the best route to go for now. Gotta keep you hydrated and fed, but the lunchroom doesn't quite open yet. It doesn't open for another 15-ish minutes. So, I suppose until then, I can just chat with you, and in a little bit I can read to you your hospital choices. In terms of your surgery, obviously, since all of your bones were broken, you were unconscious. So for the surgery and for all of that, you weren't exactly there. So they did manage to piece together what they could and fix the bones that they could, but there are going to be a few that take a little bit longer to heal. Specifically the bones in the skull, the bones in the pelvic region, and the ribs. Because the ribs are a good portion of cartilage. So finding something like that to fix is a bit difficult for the body. But I'm sure you will heal splendidly. We have our top-notch doctors on the case, so no need to worry about things like that. I suppose it's a good thing that you're here. The best thing about our hospital is that We have a lot of doctors with renowned degrees from very good schools. So you're in very good hands. The rain must be calming as well. I know it's a bit of a stormy day, but I'm sure that it'll clear up eventually, like most things in life do. When I was younger, I used to be terrified of thunderstorms. Something about the large crashes and very bright lights made my little child body shiver. But as I've grown up as an adult, I've realized that there's something calming about rain and thunder. It's kind of like being reminded that the world is still there. Being reminded that regardless of anything that happens, there will always be some way to come back to the rain. Enough with my philosophical ramblings. I should probably give you the next dose of your medication, as it's getting to be about that time. I wouldn't want you to accidentally go over and end up feeling pain. That's the last thing I want you to experience. We don't have the ability to give you pills, as it is a bit difficult for you to swallow. And you will have to swallow using your mouth when you are being fed, but I want to save you the trouble of having to swallow solids. So instead, I will just put it in with your IV, and hopefully that does the job. In fact, they've said that putting the medication directly into your blood is actually better for you. Not for you in terms of health, but in terms of getting it to you quicker. So let me open this thing and get it ready for you. It's going to feel a little bit cold, as we have to make sure that it keeps for a long period of time, but it should go over soon. So let me get this over here and prepare the IV. There's a piece of plastic that I unhook and place it in. So let's get that into place. Alright. It might feel a little bit cold, so brace yourself, but here we go. Alright. That should be enough. Okay. Hopefully that kicks in within the next 15-ish minutes. I'm hoping that it minimizes your pain at least a little. If you don't mind, I'm going to go get the menu for the lunchroom, as I don't really have it with me right now. So I will be right back. Why don't you close your eyes and just try to breathe for a little bit, okay? menu was actually right outside your door. So I was able to just take it out really fast. This seems to be about lunchtime, so we have a good assortment of things. I think a lot of the things like meats and breads and pizzas and general hard vegetables are off the menu for you just because you can't really chew. But we have a good amount of options regardless. I want to make sure that you're able to actually get at least a little bit of nutrients that aren't just from the IV. So we have a good amount of yogurt. We have Greek yogurt in the flavors of black cherry and vanilla and strawberry. We also have a special edition dragon fruit flavor, which I think is seasonal, but I'm not exactly sure. The Greek yogurt is very good. I've had it a handful of times. It's thicker than normal yogurt, but it's still tasty. Other than the Greek yogurt, we have the thinner yogurt that usually comes in those small glass jars. And in that we have a bit more limited flavor. We have strawberry, vanilla, and raspberry. The raspberry does have very, very small chunks of raspberry in it, but I don't think that would be too much of an issue in terms of your condition. I think that's all the yogurt that we have so far. Besides that, we have a couple soups. Obviously, I can't give you things like chicken noodle soup or things of that nature, but we do have quite a bit of broths as well, if you're interested. We have a tomato soup, which would usually be paired with a grilled cheese, but again, we're a bit limited at the moment. I'm really sorry. I'm hoping that you heal relatively soon so that you don't have to be put under these conditions any further. We have a beef broth. It's pretty good. It's broth, you know, but it is pretty alright. We have a chicken broth, which is my personal favorite if I had to choose a favorite broth. And we have a vegetable broth. I don't know if you're a vegetarian or not, but your sheet says that you aren't, to our knowledge, so I'm going to assume that anything goes. I'm also assuming that you don't have lactose intolerance or anything like that. We got your medical records from a neighboring hospital, the one that you go to regularly, because obviously you aren't able to speak, so we had to go through emergency services and ask your parents and emergency contacts if we have the ability to go through your records, which they gratefully allowed, thankfully. So hopefully these records are correct still. The last visit was about 6 months ago, so they seem to be up to date. But I don't know if you've gone on a special diet recently. I'm just hoping that I'm able to do my best to nurse you back to health. For right now, I think I think we'll go with the normal yogurt. I'll give you the chance to blink for the flavor that you prefer. So, blink 3 times at the one that you want the most, okay? So, strawberry, vanilla, raspberry. Okay. Good choice, good choice. And because I am in charge of your health, and because it's probably best that you get at least a little bit of veggies in, I'm going to get the vegetable broth and gonna have you sip that a little bit over the next couple hours. I'll get a hot plate to make sure that it keeps warm. And, yeah, so I'm going to go get those things for you. It might be a little bit for me, as the cafeteria is a bit of a distance, but I am positive that it will not be super long. So, stay over here, practice your breathing, maybe focus on healing. I don't know what you like to do. I don't know if you're into meditation or anything of that nature, but I'll be right back, okay? I promise I won't be super long. Hi. I have your yogurt and your vegetable broth. They had plastic spoons, so I know that your hands and arms and basically entire body doesn't really work very well. So, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on your thoughts, I am gonna have to feed you. I hope that's okay with you. The yogurt here is very tasty, so there's that at least. And since we gave you your pain medication, it should be kicked in by now, so you should be able to at least swallow without a lot of discomfort. It's not going to be the best thing, but you gotta eat sometime. So, I will start doing that, I guess. I can tell you some stories, I guess, if you'd like. I know that it gets kind of boring not being able to do anything, so I'd like to help at least a little. Let me start the process, I guess. Oh, sorry about that. Alright. Say ah. There we go. Good. Let's see. What's the best story I know? I think... It's very interesting talking about stories. I feel like as adults, we kind of stop reading as much, especially in societies like this where why take the time to read a book when you can scroll through TikTok for several hours, you know? Free dopamine and such. But I suppose I can find some kind of story to tell you. I can look one up on my phone if you'd like. It really just depends on what your preferences are. I doubt you'd like me to scroll through TikTok for you. So, maybe we can go back to the old days where you only had your thoughts in a couple books. I think maybe, just maybe, I could think of something on the spot if you wanted something original. It's hard to ask what you like when you can't exactly respond. But it's alright. It's alright. We're halfway through the yogurt. You're doing a great job. I'm really happy that you're at least able to get something. I think a lot of old stories in particular. Very grim. I guess that's why they're called the Grimm's fairy tales. But a lot of them do have at least some moral. I know Aesop's fables have a lot of morals, too. Unfortunately, all of the picture books are left in the children's wing. But I'm sure it will be just fine. I read this book recently called They Both Die at the End. And the title did not lie. But it's one of those books that really changes the way that you think about things. It's set in a world where everyone knows when they're gonna die. Like they are sent a message the day before, so they're able to finish everything that they want to do. And there's an app, kind of like Tinder, where you can spend some time with someone that's also going to die soon, or someone that wants to hang out and help someone that's going to die soon. And this story is about two people that managed to meet because of this app and become really close. I think it's really sweet. And it really made me think about how I view my life and how important it is to take things as they come. You know? There's one last scoop in the yogurt. I'm sure you can do it. You ready? There you go. Great job. I know it was a bit uncomfortable, and I know that eating yogurt isn't exactly everyone's favorite thing to do, but thank you for putting up with me and letting me feed you and all of that. There are some people, when presented with that idea, that start freaking out and make it a problem, whether it be because of masculinity or because of feeling frail or something like that. But I think asking for help is the bravest and strongest thing you can do. So hopefully, I was able to help you. As for the vegetable broth, I'll give you a little bit to cleanse your palate. I did pick you up some water. So maybe we can try drinking some water to cleanse your palate before the vegetable broth. They only had water bottles, and I'm a bit scared to use the water bottle because I don't want to accidentally give you too much water or make you feel overwhelmed. So I will put the water in these tiny containers that we have and do it bit by bit. These small containers are usually meant for side sauces, but I think it's just the right amount of water that won't be super overwhelming. So we will give this a shot. Hopefully we're able to get this to work out. All right. I'm going to have you open your mouth a little bit, and I'm going to put this in on the count of 3, okay? I want to make sure that you're not overwhelmed. So, putting it to your lips, and 3, 2, 1. There we go. Fantastic. Thank you for trusting me. I am glad that we were able to get at least a little bit of water dispensed orally. The IV only does so much with saline, you know. At a certain point, you're going to need to have the vegetable broth, but I'll let your stomach settle a bit. I know sometimes in surgeries it's difficult for the body to take anything, so you try to exert yourself or try to eat a bit more than usual, and bada bing, bada boom, it's throw up time. But I'm trying to minimize that because if you threw up right now, I think that would be a bit detrimental to your recovery. So we're going to take it very slow. Very slow. Are you in any pain? Blink twice if you're in pain. No? Okay. That's good to hear. Maybe we should do some breathing exercises. I've noticed that your breathing is a bit shallow. And that is understandable with things like broken ribs and chest injuries. But maybe we can practice a little bit. So I'll just try 3 deep breaths that we can do together, okay? If you struggle at any point, feel free to blink 3 times and I'll stop. So, first, inhale. We'll only do it for 4. So, and then hold for only 2. And then exhale. Good. We'll do that a couple times more. Ready? One more time. Good. It seems we've gotten your breathing back to regular, which is very good. I'm really glad. It's getting to be about the time that we change bandages and get your vitals checked again. So, I'm going to grab some bandages from the cabinet over here and switch out some of the ones that you have. Specifically the ones on your legs and on your skull. The ones on your legs tend to bleed through a bit quicker. So that's why we change them so often. Before you woke up, I just changed your arm ones, so those are no problem. Let me put together some of these. Move your blankets a bit. Alright. First, we'll do the left leg. I'm sorry if this doesn't feel the best. There are some bandages that have a tendency to stick to scabs, so my apologies. Okay, those seem to be doing really well. Your body is healing as it should, which is really good. Let's do the right as well. those seem to be doing really well. I'm really glad that your body responded well to surgery. With that many bones broken, it's it's very difficult to know how the body will react, because sometimes bodies just kind of give out at a certain point. But you're a trooper. I'm very, very glad you're a trooper. The ones on the skull are going to be a bit more uncomfortable. I'm going to leave some of the base bandages on there, but the ones that we have to change are the ones specifically near the sites of incision. So, pardon me while I get a bit close to your face. I'm going to change those very quickly. All right. Those seem to be healing good as well. I'm very, very happy about that. Are you crying? Was that painful? No? I'm sorry. I know it's very easy to feel helpless in situations like this. It's very easy to feel like nothing will ever get better, or that the body just won't ever be the same. And while a portion of that is true, the body has an incredible way of healing itself. There's going to be a lot of physical therapy and a lot of upkeep with things like this, but you will always come out the other side. And I'm on a 12-hour shift this time, so I'll be here for quite a long time. You don't need to worry about being alone while you're here. There's always going to be someone by your side. Because of your condition, we have people around the clock, always available to be by your side and make sure that we nurse you back to health properly. It's gonna be okay. I promise. Things might look difficult at the current moment, and they definitely are. I'm not gonna lie to you. But even if you need help from others, sometimes that's part of the process. Sometimes the process of getting better does involve other people. You can't just take a Tylenol and pretend that nothing happens. I think that goes for most things in life, though. I think an important part of healing is being able to accept that you're not feeling well, or that your body is not doing well, or things like that, and being able to say that you need help and getting it. Obviously, this help wasn't exactly, what's the word? it wasn't exactly asked for by you, but I think you'd rather we save your life than don't. I do have to take your vitals. So if you don't mind, I'm going to go grab the machine from the side over here. And all I have to do is get your blood pressure and a couple other things. It's a bit difficult to get your blood pressure through the normal thing that we use, which is squeezing your arm, because, again, it could impact healing. So instead, I'm just going to put this thing on your finger really quickly and get whatever vitals I can. Is that okay? Thank you. So, I'm just gonna take your hand right here and put this on it. I'm sorry for the discomfort, but it'll only take a moment. Here, I'll hold your hand to make sure that nothing goes out of place. I just need a couple seconds of your time. So, I'm gonna watch this screen here while it reads, and after that, we should be okay. Your heart rate seems to be pretty normal, so that's good. And yeah, I've gotten what I need. Let me take this off. And there you go. Fantastic. You're doing really well. You're taking this like a champ, you know. I know it's uncomfortable, but you'll be okay. In terms of vitals, those are complete. So the only thing on my checklist is to check if you're hungry. We do have the vegetable broth still, so if you do want that, I can feed you again. If you are hungry, of course. You are? Okay. Let me grab the container. And these spoons are a bit small, but I'm sure it's fine. At this point, I just want to make sure that you feel as comfortable as possible and that you get enough nutrients. So, here, let me get a good spoonful of this, and alright. I'm gonna have to feed you again, and I greatly apologize if it's unwelcome, but it's the only way. So, here comes the airplane. No. Okay, sorry. Here. Good. We'll do about a third of this bowl, and hopefully that should work for now. I don't want to introduce more solid things like applesauce or oatmeal until you have at least more range of motion in your mouth. So, the vegetable broth is, I'm not sure exactly what vegetables it's made with, but I know that one of them is celery. And I was never really the biggest fan of celery, as celery is a very weird texture, but the flavors that it brings to broths and specifically chicken soup is a fantastic thing. I like it quite a lot. I know that sometimes on TV back in the day they'd be like, oh, you should make ants on a log for your kids or something like that, which is celery, and then in the groove of the celery they put peanut butter and then top it with raisins, right? And that always seemed like such an American snack to me. There are Cheetos and Doritos and things with an obscene amount of sugar. And on TV they were so desperate to try to get us to eat our vegetables that they would put whimsical spins on snacks that are healthy, which I find it funny, because back then I was like, ew, gross, but now as an adult I think I would welcome that whimsy much, much more. As an adult, I feel like it's easy to lose your joy. It's easy to succumb to the desperate need to be an adult, or whatever adult may be. Grow up. But I don't think any of us really do grow up. I think we just learn how to do adult things. You learn to do adult things like taxes and how to get a mortgage and work a 9 to 5 and all that. But I think very few of us actually lose that childlike sense of wonder. We just kind of mask it. I think more of us should show a certain amount of whimsy in our lives. It makes more sense. You have a finite amount of time on this earth, so why not fill it with things that bring you joy instead of trying to fit a mold that everyone else wants you to be? Obviously, there's certain things you have to do, like if you work a job, you have to act a certain way and do a certain amount of things, but when you're on your own, or you have your own free time, what's stopping you from wearing a cape in public? What's stopping you from making your favorite childhood meal and enjoying it? What's stopping you from enjoying the shows and the medias that you enjoyed as you were a kid? I don't know. Ignore me. Sometimes I just kind of ramble a bit. We have a few more spoonfuls of the broth to go, and then we'll hold off on food for a little while. I don't want you to have any adverse side effects. It's really important to make sure that we don't overfeed you as well. It's very hard to eat large amounts after surgery, especially with anesthetic. Anesthetic can make it so your appetite is basically non-existent. But I'm very proud of you for being able to eat at least the yogurt and the amount of broth that I'm able to give. That shows at least some progress, and I'm very, very proud of you for that. Your ability to tough through it will prove to be important. Now, because of the broth and what I see on your chart here, we're going to give you some more water. I know you just finished swallowing a good amount of broth, but I'm going to give you another one of those tiny little dishes of water. And hopefully that should hold you off for a little while. So I will get that very quickly. Alright, so put this water in here. That was rough. Almost spilled it there. Alright. I'm going to give you this last bit of water, okay? Ready? 3, 2, 1. There we go. Fantastic. You're doing a really good job with these. I'm sorry to have to keep giving you things and administering stuff like that. But protocol is protocol. Do you need anything else? I think I've crossed off all my duties for the day. I don't think you need very much. Blink twice if you are in pain. No? Okay. Your bandages are changed, you've been fed, the IV's been changed out. I don't think there's a whole lot left for me to do for you. Are you sleepy? Are you tired? Yeah? Okay. Well, I will leave you to take a good sleep then. I hope I was able to tend to your needs properly. And, I hope you have a very, very good rest. I will be by your side. The most I'll do is leave the room for any extra things that I may need, like bandages or extra food or water or things of that nature. But I'll be here if you need me. So fall asleep at your leisure. You are safe, and I promise I will be here. Good night. Or, I guess, good afternoon. Have a good nap.